Hey everybody, Ben here. Thanks for being here. Thanks for showing up for yourself each and every day. Gonna do a Sunday morning ink blot. We have white, yellow, blue, bronzish color, and black. So I'll show you what I dropped, what came through, and we'll go from there. See you. All right, everybody, you should be able to see what I dropped and then what came through. And off the bat, I know I'll say this wrong, but this yellow portion here kind of reminded me of like an insigma. I think it's called I'll say it wrong, a fleur de lis. It's a French saying, and I think it was used by royalty to show their divine right to lead or rule. Up here at the top, we can see, uh, we'll call it more like an angelic figure, which uh, would be us. That's that divine right to lead or rule. And then we have this yellow portion here, which is a transitional portion. And down here at the bottom, this is our earth body, if we will, our vessel, our experience. And we can see the density there. And the transition to remembering or utilizing your power, your gift, your energy, your divine right, your blessing is through your solar plexus. And how we can utilize this in this experience is through our voice, the blue here. But that question is up to you. How is your solar plexus? How is your self-esteem? How is your confidence? Do you believe in yourself? Do you have the strength to speak your truth? Down here, we can kind of see, or at least I see, these as little dogs or wolves or coyote type deal that are kind of eating away at our wings. And uh, naturally through life, experiences take place that knock our self-esteem down. Somebody says something or does something. Uh, we take ownership of that. We hold that inside, and then we create our identity around that. As we can see here in the blue, it almost looks like a bigger wolf is kind of eating all of them, and that is through our voice. And it doesn't have to be in an attack mode. It can be. Somebody says something out of line, you can correct them, or maybe you need to. But it also is giving off of uh, speaking your truth with the confidence that you need to carry. And by doing so, it silences these hyenas, if we will, that are trying to bring you down. The truth rings louder than the insults or the cattiness, or I don't know if that's the right word, the nipping at the heels type of deal. There is like this bowling pin down here between our legs, and I'm kind of confused of is we're protecting something there. If we think of just a bowling pin out all on its own, and the wind blows too hard, the ground shakes, it could fall over. And if you picture pinching this uh, bowling pin between our legs as I can't let this fall. And that feels, it's the lowest part here. It is, even if I had that, like I would really be restricting, like I'm holding it here in between my legs right now, and I'm restricting my movement. I can't move. I'd have to waddle. I can't take up space. Like if we reference some people, they really take up more space than they need to when they walk, their presence, and while others are quite reserved. So that goes back with the solar plexus as well, of being able to take up space, that you're allowed to have space. And it doesn't have to be like, we can see some people, they overcompensate for taking up space for a wound. while here we are overcompensating to protect something, possibly to not put ourselves in positions to have these wolves or hyenas engage with us. We could easily see that hiding away, not speaking, keeping everything to ourselves when really we are meant to. But this is a protection mechanism. And as I said before, the question at hand uh, is going to be personal to you on how you're viewing your solar plexus, your actions, and what you do to protect, and what you're not doing in fear of, someone breaking through that protection. Because clearly you have something to do here, and we're hesitant to do so. We've got the Hermit, introspection, and the Six of Wands reversed, setbacks. We may have pulled back into this space. At first it gave setback because we're in this space. We're contemplating things, we're seeing truths, we're not taking any action. That would be the setback. But then it gave a tone of maybe we had a setback, maybe these wolves came, someone put us in this hermit space because we got offended, or it hurt our feelings, or we felt like we were unwelcome, we weren't allowed to take up space. But through this introspection, we are seeing that we're actually meant to take up space. That normally does fit true. There's probably the percentage of people taking up space don't deserve to have that space, while the ones that do are the ones that are suppressed. Because what would that look like? What would change? A lot. The ones that are taking up more space than they should would be seen as the truth that they are. That's where this voice comes in. And I don't feel like it is uh, arguing or fighting or challenging the bickering. It is way above them. It is surpassing them just in your own truth, your own voice, your own reasoning. You don't have to engage with them or argue with them. That's not the point here. It is your truth just surpasses them and consumes them. As I said, the ones that were taking up more space than they need to, just they dissipate because it was a falsehood. It is not real. Page of Cups reversed. Immaturity. This goes for both parties here. This goes for, and not in a negative way. The hyenas, if we will, that may be nipping and trying to suppress and maintain their space that they have overtaken, haven't evolved enough to see where they're working out of. They're more or less out of their ego, that this is possession and material, and my expression of myself is my only foundation, how I present myself, the things I surround myself with, etc. And while you would also be in this position of not seeing your divinity and your power by being suppressed by the ego-driven individuals. So this is something we need to build and learn to step into, which I'm sure if we're suppressed or we're holding ourselves back out of a numerous amount of different fears, there has to be this transition to come into this energy. But there's going to be a lot of resistance too, because whatever may have taken place, or the threats you'd see as viable, we are standing in fear. Justice reversed. Imbalance gave a strong feeling of like you are entitled to this space. And I think you're coming from a space where We may dislike people that maybe carry that energy, and I wonder if that's like the most resistance. And it's funny how that kind of works out, that sometimes, uh, I'm not saying that this is true, we're just talking here, but sometimes people that we often despise or dislike their behavior, it's because we wish we had that or we could be that, but we deem it as bad because it's like suppressing what we're already suppressing. It's this kind of messed up mind game here. And it's the fact that you belong there in that space, but the way that they're expressing their energy in that space, it comes off quite negative. It's driven out of the wrong space, out of the ego, versus purity or light, deemed proper, and true leadership versus this expression of possession and presentation. Well, I'm not going to go down and get that one because I don't feel like pausing the video, but it's the Queen of Swords reversed and it says harsh judgment. This goes both ways as well. What we just touched on of uh, that aspect of looking at the people that are taking up too much space, the hyenas, and uh, having this rejection or disgust towards that energy, while also they would feel the same about you stepping into this energy because you are true. Theirs is a mask, theirs is false. It is overcompensating for a weakness. So they're going to be harshly judging you as you would in this current space. You can, if we go back to the blue, you just triumph right over just by being you in your own truth. And that is a dangerous place for them because their facade does not exist anymore. Six of Pentacles reversed. Selfishness. We could view them as this energy, but a lot of the times when we make this transition energetically, there's going to be a lot of projection. They will naturally project their own struggles or insecurities onto someone moving forward or into this space. You may feel like that as well when you start to embody this confidence or this self-esteem. How could you not? We're leaving a place of, I don't want a title, however we may perceive ourselves. We'll just say a decent, good individual. But you almost have to take a step in that direction, and we may not want to feel that or present ourselves that way because we almost disgust that ego-driven individual or that energy. But through this process, we have to be confident. We have to be in our energy, standing strong and firm to be a leader of our own life, number one, and for others if we so choose to be. We'll get one last card here, Spirit. A Nine of Swords reversed. Self-compassion. Through this process, this is a lot. There's a lot of different parts of it. But if we just look at building that confidence and that self-esteem as one part, and then that other part, I don't know a better way to describe it, but it's like this rejection to being what we're meant to be or what we are, because we're viewing it as being like the people that are driven out of their ego, the possession, the taking up more space, the look at me, the mask, the presentation. And that's not the case. Their energy or their space that they're taking up is driven from a very unhealed materialistic space. Your energy is true. And it's It's not going to be presented the same way, but there's going to be a lot of hyenas when you start to present yourself as you always were. So there's going to be that. There's a lot, a lot of different resistances in a lot of different ways, in a lot of different avenues. But you probably are already aware of, your, excuse me, your origin to some extent. And truly stepping into this is through the solar plexus. So that can only be done through a bit of reflection and maybe some help if you need it, to really weed things out and to fully step into this, who you truly always, excuse me, were and always will be. I'm going to leave this here. If this resonated, feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe. If you need any more help with it, check out oceanprizes.com, and I will talk to you all later. See ya.